Alright, so I hate doing the video phone thing to you guys, but the other camera's pissing me off, so this is where we're at. Here's my clutch. Needed to pull this bolt out right here so that I can pull off the clutch to get to the diamond drive. Keep in mind, anytime you're working on anything on the drivetrain, especially that main axle, you hold the brake, it makes things a hell of a lot easier. If you have a buddy to do it, great. If you don't, you can use your parking brake, it should hold. Mine were in there pretty darn tight, so you're really going to have to put some gumption behind it to get it off of there. So I already loosened up this bolt. Oh. And there you go, there he is right there. For that, you're looking at a 9/16 or a 14 to get that off. As you can see, here's my diamond drive. Do not be afraid to take one of these apart. I opened it up. If you have any mechanical ability at all, it's a couple of gears, a couple of bearings. They're really pretty simple. As long as you pay attention to what you're doing, I don't see how you could really mess them up too bad. Be smart. If you don't think you can do it, don't touch it. Now, that being said, with a 1/2 inch or a number 13, you can pull off these 7 nuts. And keep in mind, there's this little rubber guy that sits right here. It actually goes in between these bulkheads. It will cover up this nut right here. And so you'll think you'll have everything off and you'll be tugging on it, and then you'll realize that there's one more underneath this. This just kind of wiggles out. It's not attached in any way. Once you have those 7 bolts off and that one connector right there off, you need to go over to the other side. Oh! Which is what we're doing now. Alright, here we are on the brake side. Here's your main axle bolt. This actually screws into the diamond drive on the opposite side. So, all you have to do from here is unscrew this guy. I already have everything loose. That's a 16 or a 5/8, by the way. So, unscrew that guy, and you can pull, carefully, you can pull your entire shaft out. So, once you have your shaft out, back over. The diamond drive side, grab a hold of it and pull. And as you can see, it pretty much comes right out. So, all it is, that one gear there that slides into your cogs, into your axle. And you can see right here where it slides in. As you can see, I already put the track in. I muscled it into place. It was took some doing. I really did need a second person to give me a hand with it. I think I might have been able to do it by myself, but man, it'd have been a chore. So, you got your diamond drive out. You're kind of inspecting this area and making sure you don't have all this gunk and garbage, and probably clean that up before I put everything back together. But to get your track on or off, depending on if you broke it like I did, or you just need to replace it. Now you're looking at your brake caliper side. There's actually, I believe it's 5 bolts under here, and you can see, oh, let's try not to twist it too much, but there's one here, another one, there you go. And those are what hold in your whole brake caliper assembly. So once you pull those out, you can actually slide the whole brake caliper and rotor over enough so that you can get your track up into place. Keep in mind your drive cogs and your little nubbins here on your track when you're going to put it in, because they catch on everything, and it's just a pain in the butt. So Okay, so wiggle the diamond drive into place here. You're going to have to reach underneath and grab a hold of your drive cogs when you do it to help you line up the shaft. Because as you see, this is the back side of the diamond drive. There's your axle. And to line everything up, you're going to have to kind of get underneath and wiggle it. But make sure you hook up your electrical connector first. I almost made that mistake. So hook that up first, that way you can tuck it up into this little cubby where it sits. I put on all my nuts hand tight, and then I'm going to grab my axle shaft, axle bolt, Don't mind my nomenclature. I know it's all off, wrong, just plain old not right, but you get the gist of it. So slip the shaft all the way in there, and just gonna start to thread her on nice and gentle. Yeah, feels like it's in there. Feels like it's going good. So. I don't know what exactly the torque specs are on any of this stuff, so I'm going to go with German torqued. If you don't know what that is, it's Guten type. So, go over to the other side, reset my brake, so I can snug this guy up. Feels pretty snug. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of an amateur mechanic, if you couldn't tell. And so whenever I do a big job like this, I like to try and carry some of the sockets and stuff I used on the first ride, just to be certain that if anything does go wrong, or anything comes loose, you know, I can get in there and fix it on the trail and not have to worry about her too much. Alright, I think that's just some of my cleaning agent. It's making that one wet there. I don't think it's oil leaking out of there. Of course, it'd have to be a bottom. You know, if it's a top one, I could make an argument, but it's gotta be a bottom one. So we're gonna tighten these guys down, and then we're gonna go underneath to the brake side, and we're gonna put those nuts, tighten them down. And then our clutch is gonna go back on, and then our belt, and we should be in the money. All right. Alright, so just to recap here, I obviously have everything back in place. Slid in the diamond drive, threw the 1/2 inch nuts back on those, threw my clutch on, tightened down that bolt all the way on the inside there, it is. Reshimmed my belt, and hopefully that's good. I don't know. Take it out, test it out, see how it does. Put my heat shield back on. Went over to the other side. Tightened up my main axle nut, and then tightened up my nuts on the inside here. Now all I have left to do really is put the skid back in. But as I was inspecting my skid, I noticed that I had a broken hook up here, or I guess the guard, and then these two bars are a wee little bit bent. So pick some of those up at the sled shop, and I'll go ahead and throw those in now. Pretty self-explanatory. Single bolt on each side, it looks like, and just a bolt and a nut for the cap. And, yeah, see how that goes. Alright, so I got my two posts in up there, the two bent ones. I got those replaced. Replaced that cap over there. Super simple. You have to loosen up the straps just a little bit to get the bar out. There's 3 spacers, I don't know if you can tell from that shot, but in between, one in between the straps on either side. Yeah, that was all pretty simple. Now that being said, because my track was snapped in half, I didn't think of this, but here I am trying to stuff this track back in place. And who knows, maybe you guys who actually know what you're doing have already spotted it. But what did I do wrong here? Oh, found it. My wheels in the back are still for my old track tension. So trying to get this thing in here is just a bear, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, I bet if I loosen those up and I'm able to slide those wheels forward a little bit, that track will slip right on there and I'll be on my way. So just wanted to let you guys know. Hopefully I'll get it back on here and be on our way shortly. Alright, so after, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes of dicking with it, I have my bolts in for the front of my skid. The problem I was running into was I couldn't get this forward A-arm here to line up with the bolt holes. Just the way the track was sitting and everything, it was pulling the entire skid forward. Couldn't figure it out, tried lifting, tried heat manning it, tried bench pressing it, tried jacking up the end more. Finally it dawned on me that I had so much slack right here in the track that it was just on the back end, it was pulling everything forward. So I put my cheapo little good wrench jack underneath there and jacked her up, and imagine that. I mean, as soon as I figured out 1 + 1 = 3, yeah, it was 20-30 seconds before I had the first bolt hole lined up. So just a little tip, and when you loosen up these bad boys, don't forget to loosen up your axle nuts, because I'll tell you what, they don't go nowhere even if you beat them with that thing. Alright, well, hopefully me learning everything the hard way is going to make it easier for you. Okay.